thing I want to cover. It's the biggest question. It's an easy answer for a pest professional, but the public always asks, why do we have bed bugs? How come we have them now? And and I always tell them they've always been around. Bed bugs have always been around, but they've been kept under check. I mean, one pregnant bed bug comes into your house, say in January, which is by March, they'll just from that one, there will be 500 bed bugs. Not all adults, but like when they exponentially increase and breed their life cycle, you'll have 500 bed bugs that can bite you within 2 to 3 months. By May, you'll have 9,600 bed bugs on average, and then by June, 6 months later, one bed bug that came into your house in January. By late June, you'll have almost 32,000 bed bugs. I mean, this, and you think that is like astronomical and that's impossible, because a lot of times I go in the houses, they have 3 to 6 months to 1 year's infestation, and it's heavy, but it's not like you think, because of the way they hide and congregate. I mean, you could get 1,000 bed bugs in just one pocket, hidden, that you don't even know it's there until you uncover it. And the thing about bed bugs, when you disturb them, and they don't all scatter out and flush out when you spray, when you do aerosol treatments, when you do your own household cleaner thing. They're not like cockroaches. So you get a pocket of cockroaches, only like 10 or 15. When you pull out a refrigerator and there's like 100 cockroaches, and you pull the refrigerator, all scatter, they go up the wall, and 100 looks like a million. But with bed bugs, they're so tiny, a fraction of molecule sized compared to a cockroach. They don't scatter, they don't run everywhere. So 1,000 in one little area, you're not going to really notice it until you really uncover. So, but 32,000 bed bugs can come from one bed bug that hitched a ride into your home. By the time they surface, you'll have probably hundreds. You'll have about 500 bed bugs by the time you start noticing them running around. By the time you catch one or two, you'll probably have 500. It's pretty average. Think about the size of them, where they congregate, and how they replicate. And then when they spread from just one, we'll go to another room and do the same process. So you'll see one room is heavily infested, and then another room you just see one or two, but doesn't mean that it's now the question is why? Okay, and then the second question really is, where do they come from? Where do they come from? We're talking millions of years ago. They I guess they could find out they come from caves. They look like a bat bug. They're trying to say, because the specimen, scientifically, they have the same characteristics of a bat bug that originated in caves. So they're trying to say bed bugs have evolved from bat bugs because they have the same characteristics, but much different, and the way they feed is much different. But I think it's just another species of a parasite. It just happens to look like a bat bug. I can go over, it's like countless. Every picture you can just go over a countless amount of material. But what I want to get to is, why do we have bed bugs resurgence? How can we have a resurgence of bed bugs here in the United States? Not so much in the Midwest, other than the hotspot travel, international, the hotspot for industry like Cincinnati, Ohio, Chicago, and then and then others, and then in the Midwest towns where it's not so industrious, you won't see as many reports of bed bugs, and other in areas like Kansas and the South, like the Southeast states. But then, like in the Northeast coast, why? Because it's the international travel, and we've always had bed bugs in this situation. But back in the day, when they invented pesticides, just worked for everything. DDT, malathion, fumigation, poison gas. Yeah, it's harmful. The way they applied it, it was hazardous. I mean, they were just putting it out there. But they got it down where they made these chemicals, these products available to the public, and where the public was treating their own homes. So there you go. That's why we didn't have a bed bug epidemic for about 50 years. Because the number one thing right here, they started banning the pesticides that work with the long-lasting residual. A lot of it was dangerous to be used in the home, but it's necessary, and some of these products are still manufactured and available in other countries where they don't have the strict environmental push, global green movement. That's just some politics. So what you're seeing now, why are you seeing them everywhere? All of a sudden, they just didn't just come out of thin air. We've always had them, but like I said, one bed bug can turn into tens of thousands within a short period of time. So why hasn't that happened in the 80s and 70s and 90s? How come we didn't see as many until the mid 2000s? Because let's use New Jersey as an example. They came out with integrated pest management. The DEP, Environmental Protection Agency, did a committee saying maybe we don't need to be using pesticides. Maybe we shouldn't be using that. Maybe that's dangerous to the environment. Let's when they just reduce everything. They reduce emissions for pollution, and let's reduce contamination to our groundwater with doing everything, recycle. So let's put pesticides. Let's group that into everything. So they group pesticides into the same category as pollution and garbage and toxic waste, which wasn't really fair because pesticides are necessary, and the way it's applied, it's safe. But just because it's the word pesticides, they just said New Jersey's one of the first states to do it, in California. New Jersey's very strong push against pesticide use and restrictions and what's licensed. And now New York State is even tougher on what they because New York State as a whole is pretty environmentally, a lot of environmentalists trying to save everything, the Adirondacks, and keep everything pristine and pollution free. So pesticides, they're just going to say, well, that sounds dangerous, so let's ban that. So they went into right here, they went from spray pesticides for cockroaches. Every house had cockroach treatments on a regular basis. So they instead of doing spray pesticides, they started using these baits, gels, and bait buttons you get in the store. Without spraying, you try to put the chemical in the bait away from the bugs, and the bugs would have to go into the stations or go to the bait placements and eat it. So the only way cockroaches would die was to ingest the chemical. So there you go. Because you weren't spraying for cockroaches, you weren't leaving any residue. You weren't leaving any chemical residue that would affect the non-target pests for other insects, which is including bed bugs. So there's really now homes for the past 14 years now, most homes don't use pesticides except in spot areas. And if you feel like you need it, usually people just go to the Home Depot, go get some of that diluted stuff, Ortho or Home Defense. That's like a fraction of a professional concentration that has a wide spectrum, kills a wide spectrum. And now that we have this bed bug pandemic going on, people are breaking down and like, I got to use something in my house for the first time in 20 years, we never sprayed anything. And now they're going, the only thing available is this weak sauce that you get at the over the counter, and you spraying like everything, thinking that's going to work, and the pesticides, it's too late. There's not, the environmentalists and all the regulations have gained a lot of ground over the past 15 years. Now there's nothing available out there for you to get your hands on. And if you can't get your hands on a chemical product, professional products, you're not going to be able to choose the right one. You won't know, because a lot of these products now are jumping on the bandwagon. It's all about money. So all these high, good residual products that work for cockroaches and ants and sprays for spiders and stink bugs and stuff like that aren't strong enough by themselves to use for bed bugs. It just doesn't work. It's ineffective. So now they're trying to say the bed bugs have a resistance to chemicals. No, they have a resistance to, it's just nobody knows. Nobody's trained on how to kill bed bugs and use the right formulation and concentration and mixture and the treatment methods, because for the past 15 years there was hands were tied and they didn't train the pest control technicians to do a thorough treatment. So, and because of that, there's no seminars, there's no classes, there's no self-help that help the public to learn how to do treatment methods and use the proper selection of chemicals. And so it's like, so now they're coming out with like heat treatments and all these other things. But there you go. Now you got these treatments that are non-chemical, and it's just going to proliferate the bedbug population because you're not spraying pesticides in people's homes and neighboring properties and public places. You're not allowed this. You're still not spraying pesticides. You're doing non-chemical methods and giving a chance for the bedbugs to just go back to the non-treated area. You kind of chasing them away, killing whatever with the heat and steam, not spraying anything, and then a couple days later you can get infested again. So it's like we're never going to get rid of the bed bugs unless you do a strong, proper, thorough pesticide treatment like we did back in the from the 50s all the way up into the early 90s before everything changed. So that's why there is a resurgence of bed bugs like you wouldn't believe, and it's just not that. The other insects like ants and all the other pests make a resurgence. It's cyclical because those are outdoor pests, like the bees. Like last year we had a major bee thing going on that we'd never seen before, but that was because of the hurricane. A lot of these bugs get displaced because of what's going on outside. But bed bugs are an indoor pest who rely on humans and there are indoor environment, so it's a rain or shine kind of pests, and it's a year-round thing. So the outside environment has no effect on the bed bug, how they exponentially and how they proliferate in our society, just like cockroaches. And so people are kind of breaking down. They're not using them. I don't even go into properties anymore. The baits just don't work. They don't knock down the cockroaches quick enough, and there's no bait. There's no such bait in existence for bed bugs. Bed bugs will only feed on human blood, and that's it. Nothing else. Well, thank you for listening to my little bit of information that I have for you. It was just a spur of the moment thing. I always knew about it, but how to communicate that with the public is something I have to answer every time I go into a home or on the phone. Every time. Why do we have bed bugs now? Where are they coming from? Like it's coming from one place. They've always been around. I'm just letting you know why are we seeing it? And we're seeing it everywhere. Thank you. And have a good day.